Here is some advice for every young guy out there who is single and is desperately searching for a partner. Run away from Calabar girls. As a matter of fact, flee from them. Fear them. Fear who no fear them. Especially those quiet ones. Those Calabar girls that don't like to talk a lot. They are the most dangerous. Trust me. Today's story is about my first ever relationship at the University of Lagos Unilag and how one Calabar girl opened my eyes with my first kiss. Everything you're about to hear is the truth and nothing but the truth. So help me God. Edgar doesn't lie. Let's go. Check. This is a Check Edgar production. A Check Edgar production. This is for the single guys and the single ladies. Edgar doesn't lie. Why am I still single? Still single. Why am I still?
I want a wife and a family. This kind of life is not right for me. I told my guys how things can be. When I fall in love, I fall for real. I know you want me, don't waste my time. I want a girl that is set and fine. I'm going crazy, so please be mine. God, please, why?
So just before we get deep into the story, I want to use this opportunity to thank each and every one of you who listened to the first episode and loved it. I received calls, messages, and read the emails. You guys are amazing. And to everyone who sent their love letters from high school, just as I requested, I thank you specially. I have an episode in the works where I get to read all the messages and emails to you guys. Also, I have plans to get some celebrities to share their stories and tell us if they are still single, searching, or confused. If you really have something interesting to say, you can reach me at edgar@checkedgar.com. Edgar is EDGAR. Check is CHECK. All right. For those sending emails on how they can support me or the podcast, kindly subscribe to my YouTube channel, Check Edgar, or visit the website www.checkedgar.com daily for blogs, videos, and other entertaining content. Yes, you can also donate to the website or join my Patreon if you like me that much. Everything is on my website, www.checkedgar.com. Now, back to why am I still single? There are 3 major reasons why most men consider Calabar girls. Some of you may know this already, but if you don't worry. I'll give you the full gist. Just so we are clear, when I say Calabar girls, I mean the Efik, Ibibio, and those special Cross River ladies, the special ones. The first reason is because 97% of them know how to cook. Especially traditional dishes. Give it to them. You see all these vegetable soup like afang, edekainkan, with better pounded yam and ebada slaps. Exactly. They are never tired of cooking. They cook when they are happy, cook when they are sad, and cook when they are confused. If you are close to them, be ready to eat. If you are skinny and you want to add weight in 2 months, then date one of them. I promise you, your life will never remain the same. The second reason is their strengths. No, Calabar girls are strong. Where your own strength ends, that's where their strength begins. If you want them to clean or wash, they are there. They can dance, work, think, and help you move things without complaining. They are strong mentally, physically, emotionally, spiritually, and any other ally that you can think of. No, Calabar girls are strong. No. Please, let's give it to them. Give it to them. The third and most important reason why most men love Calabar girls is because, drum roll please, they are very, very caring. Nah, it's because of the sex. It is the sex. It is believed that most Calabar girls are great at having sex. They are the pinnacle or zenith of women in Nigeria with great sex drive and stamina. If you have ever had sex with a Yoruba, Igbo, or Hausa girl, and the sex was super good, chances are that Somewhere, somehow, she's related to somebody in Calabar, or her parents lived in Calabar at some point. This is the major reason why they are good at everything else. They need good food for strength, and they have strength for sex. If you know, you know. However, my story today is not about sex directly. It is more about the Calabar girl I dated at Unilag. Before I gained admission to University of Lagos to study performing arts, I was a young, naive boy who only knew a little about romance and lovemaking. Trust me, that time, I was very shy. Very, very shy. I know nothing. It was my book, my God, my talent, and me. My goal was first class or nothing. Although that goal died second semester the same first year, but it was still the goal. My mom warned me of 4 things about Unilag. She would tell me to avoid cultism, drugs, night parties, and women. It is important that you guys remember those 4 things because they are all important in this story. My mom knew a lot of stories of young guys who lost their lives to one of those 4 things. And to an extent, she was right. One time, my mom told me growing up that if I ever had sex with a woman I wasn't married to, I would lose my talents. She claims that I was a special child, and that was her promise to God. But I grew older to find out that it was a big lie. Very big lie. Everything is scam. She did not make any promise like that. I am sure she only said it to just keep me out of trouble. By the way, I was very, very talented. I still am. I can draw, act, write, and cook. It's plenty. All of you that are saying it's a lie, it's a lie. It's people that know. I remember back then, just to be sure I had my talent, after hugging any lady for too long, I would quietly recite the multiplication table to be sure that my head was still correct. 2 times 1, 2, 2 times 2, 4, 2 times 3, 6, 2 times 4, 8, 2 times 10. Okay. My mom said a lot of things to save her children from this crazy world. That's why I love my mom. I'm sure you love your mom too, don't you? In September 2014, I gained admission to the University of Lagos. JAMB had humbled me earlier that year, so my only option was through Unilag diploma. I was admitted into 200 level, through direct entry without writing JAMB again. Back then in school, we were called freshers. It was the title for everyone who was new in Unilag. Now, don't make the mistake of thinking that every fresher just left secondary school like I did. No. Some of my classmates were old enough to even have twins or 3 children. I had old men in my class, people who probably finished secondary school with my father. Most of them were either humbled by JAMB for several years, or they just decided it was Unilag or nothing. Now, the thing about being a fresher is that you don't want to make it obvious that you're a fresher. No fresher likes to be called a fresher. It wasn't fresh. One of the biggest mistakes I made as a fresher was the way I dressed. God, it was terrible. The sole of my shoe was made for trekking. Another mistake I made was allowing my sister or my dad drop me off at school. In my head, it was cool, but it was one of those signs that made me look like a fresher. Nobody should be seeing your parents at school. It's not fresh. Another mistake I made, I became too close to my course advisor too early. So he made me the course representative, and that came with a lot of courses. Only freshers want to be class reps. I had to know everybody, including those who took some of our courses as elective from other departments. At first, everybody likes you and wants you. Then suddenly, you start doing all the wrong things you think are right, like calling lecturers to class, reminding them of tests, collecting assignments, failing to assist those who are stubborn or just senseless. You suddenly just become proud, annoying, and the worst human in the world, especially to the bad guys in class. All eyes were on me. I did not even care about them. I wasn't scared. If you look at me funny, I will look at you funny too. Waiting what happen. My only worry was this particular girl. There was a way she looked at me. The look was different. I couldn't tell by her looks if she wanted to be my friend or not, but I just knew the look had some form of seduction to it. She looked at me like she had seen something delicious and something she wanted to taste. At the time, I didn't care about her as much. she wasn't in my department, and I only got to see her give me that look, let's say, once a week. The lady's name was Uyime. I must add that she's a Calabar girl, which is very, very important to this story. Although she doesn't look or sound like one, trust me, she was. She was studying English at the time. You know all those students who actually want law but end up in English? Exactly. That was her case. She talked differently and more maturely. Just by the way she laughed, you could tell that no, this one, she's not a fresher. I mean, she was a fresher, but she had left secondary school a long time ago. She looked very gentle and innocent, always covering every part of her body. Every time I saw her, she would give me the same look. She was the first girl I ever dated, and this was how the relationship started and the crazy, crazy reason it ended. Why am I still single? Continues after the commercial break. Don't go anywhere. Promo! Not every dare game should start with, we are all adults here. Nobody should take anything personal. What happens here stays here. This is a safe space. If you are tired of such games and you're looking for an interesting dare game to play with your friends, then I want you to check out, the ultimate daring game. It's perfect for 2 players looking to spice things up with some friendly competition. Here's how it works. Each player picks a card, and the one with the highest number gets to dare the other person. With 100 hilarious dare cards, 20 special twist cards, and 1 loser's note for the person we know sabi. Checkout guarantees endless fun and laughter. So are you ready to challenge your limits? Get Checkout, the ultimate daring game now, and let the fun begin. Visit www.checkedgar.com to get yours. Yes, it is my own. It is my game. Buy it today. So how did we get to talk? Okay, remember I said she took an elective in my department? Yes, the course she took in my department was Introduction to Acting. I cannot remember the course code, but it was an interesting course about the basics of acting, script writing, dialogues, and emotions. Our lecturer at the time paired us in 2s, 1 boy and 1 girl, and gave us this interesting assignment or project. Back then in school, no one really knew who was great at acting. We had not shown our skills before this practical, so it was pretty random. I don't even know how it happened, but as God will have it, I was paired with Uyime. She was so excited, you could tell that she wanted me, and God just answered her prayers. Me, I wanted somebody else. I can't say the name of the person I wanted, but I wanted somebody else. As for their assignments, we're told to create a 1-act play and perform it in front of the class by the end of the month. So I knew I was going to see her a lot, like a whole lot. I went to meet her after class that day and introduced myself. Before I could say my name, she said,
I know who you are.
With one wicked smile on her face. She told me her name, we exchanged numbers, and then we talked about the plans for the project in class that afternoon. I asked her if she had any background in acting, and she was like,
Not really. I only act in church drama sometimes, or when I'm in the bathroom. But I like to write films, Sha.
So we agreed that she would focus on the script while I focus on the acting. I did not know I was setting myself up that day. Later that evening, she called me and told me that she had finished writing the script, but she wanted me to come to school by 9 p.m. so we could read it together. I was like, send it to my WhatsApp. But she said,
No, let's have the reading face to face.
Now, I wasn't living far from school, so it wasn't a big problem as much. I was staying with a friend in a shared apartment, actually. It wasn't even a shared apartment. My sister had begged her friend to escort me for the first time since my father's house was quite a distance away. Uyime, on the other hand, was living in the hostel off campus, but very close to school as well. Anyway, I left my house after 9 p.m., ready to read the script. She said I should wait for her at the amphitheater, so I was there. When I say women have problems, you think I am joking. This lady kept me there till 10 p.m. At first, she said she was looking for a particular dress to wear. Next, it was her hair. Then her shoe. For God's sake, it was past 10 p.m. Like, who is looking at you? Like, it's just to read the script now. I wonder why some ladies take forever to get dressed. You know, like girls, sha. Anyway, I gave her some time, and when I called, she kept saying,
I'm coming. I'm on my way right now. Like, you will soon see me. I'm coming to you. Okay, God, where did I drop this bag? Where is it now?
I was boiling at this point. But something just kept telling me, calm down. When she finally got there, it was like rapture. I wanted the ground to just swallow me. She looked totally different from the girl I used to see in my class. Just imagine that Nancy Sime did surgery and came back as Beyonce. She was super hot that evening. Now, I'm not saying that Nancy Sime isn't fine or that she didn't do surgery. But just imagine for a minute. Just imagine. The difference was there. She wore this fine, short red gown. The gown started from her chest and ended below her thighs. Very short. Her skin was glowing. Her legs were glowing. Her face was glowing. My legs were shaking. The moment she hugged me, all her sins were forgiven. The 1 hour delay became 3 minutes in my eyes. The smell of her perfume alone, talk less of the way she kept smacking her lips. It was at that moment I knew that Samson was nothing but a man. The first thing she said was,
I'm sorry I kept you waiting. I hope you're not angry at me.
Waiting? How? Me that I was enjoying the cool evening breeze. There is nothing to be sorry for, my dear. So she now asked how my day was and if I had eaten. Would you believe that this girl brought food for me? Now, the truth is that I had not eaten that evening, but I didn't want to make it look like I wanted food or something from her. It would just ruin the moment. So I told her I just finished rice and chicken with juice. She was very calm that evening. She counted everything that she was saying. No mistake, no rush. It was as if she had planned everything she would say. So I asked her to show me the script she had written. That was the beginning of the wahala. She brought out her phone and sent the script to me on WhatsApp. It was a simple remake of Romeo and Juliet. The only difference was that when Juliet died in this play, Romeo had to kiss her back to life. At first I was confused. I was like, who is Romeo? She said,
You, of course. You're Romeo and I'm Juliet.
I said, okay. We read the script from top to bottom like 5 times. The script was actually very, very nice. My only problem was that kissing part. My lips were not ready. Now, the funny thing was that I had done something like this before in a toothpaste commercial. The only problem was that when I was about to kiss this lady acting lifeless that day, she gave me a dirty slap and told me that the way my mouth was shaped, it looked like I was going to swallow her that day. Since then, I have avoided anything that looks like kissing. I don't want trouble or that kind of embarrassment in my life again.
Oh, sorry. Don't cry.
It is also important to know that before I met Uyime, I had never kissed someone on the lips before. The closest thing I have done is throw the kiss from a distance. Even the stupid girl that I threw the kiss to did not catch it. But on a serious note, why will someone's saliva enter my mouth? Is that not the fastest way to inherit demons? In my mind, I was already thinking of an excuse to give so that I would not kiss her on that day. Anyway, after reading the script 4 more times, we decided to walk to the school's chapel to practice or rehearse the script. My brothers and sisters, that was where I saw the forbidden fruit for the first time in my life. Just as we were walking inside the hall, she fell on the ground. As I just rushed to grab her, I realized that she wasn't wearing anything under her short gown. Like nothing, like absolutely nothing. Nothing was there. my body started vibrating. It was like my engine had knocked. I suddenly became short-sighted. I started sweating. Something was telling me to go home, go home, go home. Another thing was telling me, be a man, be a man, be a man. That was when I remembered that one of my uncles used to say,
My boy, listen, something will kill a man.
For the first time in my life, I saw something. She, on the other hand, acted like she didn't do anything on purpose. Her acting had started before the rehearsal. She acted like she didn't notice that I saw something. But since she said nothing, I didn't see anything. I picked her up. She dusted herself. She kept looking at me, waiting for me to bring it up. I left it down. I did not even mention it at all. What is my own? The devil is a liar. It was time to act. The first direction was that the lovers give a long hug like they haven't seen each other for a very long time. So she ran and hugged me for a while. If you see the way she hugged me, her full chest was covering my whole body. My body started vibrating again. After we were done with most of it, it was time for the main action of the play, the resurrection kiss. If there is one thing I know I have learned since my mistake during the commercial I acted in, it is that a good kiss starts with a small opening of the mouth. Small. Not that you just open your mouth like you are surprised or open your mouth like fish. It is small. So she was on the floor, acting lifeless, waiting for the resurrection power of my kiss. I went to the ground and touched her lips with mine. It wasn't a kiss, so it was a touch. The next thing, the weary started laughing.
Is this how you want to bring me back to life? Hey, nobody will believe us, so nobody will believe us.
I didn't say anything.
You know what? Let me show you.
She asked me to switch roles and act lifeless on the ground. The next thing I remember was someone struggling to use their tongue to open my teeth. That day, she kissed life out of me. I saw my spirit leaving my body and shaking his head. I was gone. I was high. I saw myself in the sky like a fly. I wanted to die. She then asked,
Did you like it, Romeo?
I never knew kissing could be that adventurous. My only worry was that we were inside the school's chapel before God would strike us with thunder. Then again, something would kill a man. I felt defiled, like my virtue was taken away from me. At this point, I had forgotten the lines of the play, the story, and most importantly, the multiplication table. After everything, what would the guests say?
I think we should rehearse here tomorrow again. What do you think?
I said, okay. So, we kept rehearsing there for like 2 weeks. Every day was the same ritual. We'll meet at the amphitheater, read lines, and went to the chapel to rehearse. One thing I can't forget is that she always brought food for me every time. Good Calabar cooking with big meats. She said it was to give me strength after the rigorous rehearsal. Everything was making sense until one particular Friday like that, when she didn't show up for rehearsal. I was waiting for her at the amphitheater for like 30 minutes. When she wasn't showing up, I decided to call her.
Hello, Romeo. I'm sorry, I can't make it today. I'm not feeling too good and I have this banging headache. If you're not too busy, can you come by my hostel?
And I was like, why do you think I am Romeo and you are Juliet? Of course, I will show up for you. But over the phone, I first behaved like I was upset. Then thought about it and told her I would try and come if I was free. If you see the way I ran there, Konji is a serious bastard. Only for me to get to her hostel gate and find her outside, looking more gorgeous than ever. She said the headache was a prank and that she wanted to take me somewhere and surprise me. That she knew I would come as fast as I did. She said there is a side of herself she wanted to reveal to me, that I would like it. When I asked her where we were going,
Don't worry, Romeo. It's a surprise. And you will like where I'm taking you to. Come on now, it's not that serious. Please smile.
if a lady dresses properly with heels, uses heavy makeup with a small bag, and says the occasion is not very serious, my brother, it is over serious. Don't fall for that trap. She took me to one lounge not far from school. The time was past 11 p.m. The place was very dark with only one red light. People were drinking and smoking. A DJ was blasting music, and a couple of people were dancing. I was just confused.
Do you drink alcohol?
No,
You smoke?
no. She started laughing. Second red flag. Don't be too relaxed if a lady laughs for no reason. Something fishy is going on. The next thing she said was,
Don't worry. Very soon, Romeo. Very soon.
let me not lie, I was very worried. Suddenly, the music just changed. It became blue. Uyime got up and started dancing. I don't even know how she did it. If you see the way she used smoke to write different letters in the air, you will be amazed. Smoke came out of her nose, mouth, and ear everywhere. She started twisting her waist left and right. The scariest part was that from the moment she got up to dance till she stopped dancing, she didn't take her eyes off me for once. On the other hand, I wanted to go home. I wasn't used to visiting the shrine. The gods must be crazy. Next thing, she called me to dance with her, saying that I should hold her waist. She said,
Be my Romeo. Let me be your Juliet. Hold my waist well.
thinking, Romeo must die. I got up and held her waist. I don't even know why and how I allowed the devil that day. She tried to kiss me again, but I started dodging her mouth with my dance steps. I did not want saliva to enter. Is it now smoke? We danced for like 15 minutes until we both got tired. The next thing she asked me was about my plans for the night. I told her my plans was to go home and sleep on my bed. The lady now asked me if she could come sleep at my apartment with me. Here? That she wants to have a taste of me. She said I looked like a bad boy that knew how to punch. I was confused. At the time, I did not even know the meaning of the word punch. By the way, that wasn't the first time she used the word. She always made a joke about how I would look without clothes and how she would enjoy punching me. I wasn't comfortable with those jokes, but I always thought it was a joke. Asha told her I didn't think it would be possible. Besides, I had a roommate and my room was small. She laughed again and gave me that eyes, like the one she used to give me in school. She ordered a ride, and then the ride dropped us in front of school. When we got out of the vehicle, she gave me a long hug. She said something that I kept in my mind for a very long time.
Kind of guy every woman wants, Romeo. Never change.
I blushing. We hugged again, and she left. When I told my guys what happened the next day, they were very upset at me. Especially Noel and Fela. Pay attention to those two names because you will hear them a lot in my podcast series. Noel and Fela are two of my notorious friends from Unilag. If someone uses the name Fela, that should already tell you that the Fela isn't okay. While Fela was asking all the useless questions like, did she grind you? You touch her? On her pipe? Noah was asking if I really liked her and wanted to take things forward. Noah wanted to know if I had plans to date her. Noah said that if I don't ask her out and lock her as my babe, there is nothing stopping her from seeing other guys. And he was right. Because beyond the smoking, I really liked Uyime. She was brilliant, beautiful, sexy, and she really liked me. I knew I had to make a move fast. If not, I would lose the girl to other guys. The next question was, how do I ask her out? Was she open to a relationship with me, or was it just about planching? Fast forward to the presentation week. It was an interesting day, although I was nervous. When it was our turn to present, we went to the back of the theater, changed into our costumes, and then started our performance. It was wild and mind-blowing. My mates were impressed. The lecturer was impressed. Even I was impressed. We killed and buried it. It was a beautiful work. The part of the kiss made everybody in class go wild. It was crazy. After the class, we went to a nearby restaurant to celebrate. And when we were done, for the first time in my life, I asked the lady out. Like I said, will you be my girlfriend? She looked at me for a while without saying a word. And then she said with a faint voice,
Or if that's what you want, I'll be your girlfriend, Romeo. I love you, Romeo.
it was very emotional. My eyes were teary. Class rep don't finally get rep. I finally had a girlfriend. A fine, sexy Calabar girlfriend. Dear Checkmates, listen, love is a beautiful thing. When you find that person who really loves you and cares for you, it gives you a certain joy that money cannot even buy. It feels like the world revolves around that person. I was happy, and she was happy as well. Life was good. It felt like Romeo and Juliet for real. She would come by my class just to check up on me. We usually met at the chapel to talk, eat her food, or visit a restaurant. She never asked me for money one day. She loved to spend her money on me. She was a great cook. She was always cooking. Always. That was one reason why my friends Noel and Fela were enjoying the relationship more than I was. Anytime she brings food, they will eat most of it. They kept begging me never to get her upset so that she wouldn't stop giving me food. Sometimes we would meet at the lounge where she would smoke and drink and we would dance. But those weren't the moments for me. My best moments were at the chapel when we talked about ourselves and ate something good. She told me a lot about the Calabar culture, and I told her about the Edo culture. She loved hugging me. Her love language was physical touch, although she always wanted to come to my house, but I never allowed it. She kept on talking about sex and how great she was in bed. She was the one that told me "pansh" means sex. She told me about all the guys she had slept with and the weird places she had done it. This girl is wild. She told me she had sex with a guy in a moving taxi. I really liked her because she was open to me. She would tell me if I did anything wrong and told me she didn't like my social life. She wished I would party more, club more, drink, and do a little drugs. That was the third red flag. I wanted all the things my mom warned me about. I was blinded by love, but not stupid. I knew my limits. I talked crazy too, but I had no action to back it up. And she knew. She knew I was all talk. It was obvious. I was always shaking when she came too close. She called me Romeo every time. She would always say,
Romeo, why are you sitting too far? Come a little closer now, eh? Here. Don't worry, I won't bite.
Gets me every time. Anyway, they say nothing lasts forever. I mean, if the relationship didn't end, you wouldn't be listening to the story or the podcast. So what happened? How did it end? Why am I still single and not married to Uyime today? It's because, like I mentioned at the beginning, Calabar girls cannot be trusted. One day, I went to visit Fela in his hostel. Fela was living on campus inside the school hostel, so obviously he had roommates. We were chatting about schoolwork and life in general when he asked me about my babe. Now, Fela is a bad boy. He was more concerned about her looks and the things we had done. He wanted to hear the dirty gist. I did not know his roommates were paying attention to my gist as well. If you're a student of Unilag, one thing you don't want while telling someone your story or gist is for other people putting their mouth in your business, especially when it comes to the issues relating with your woman. If I had known, I wouldn't have gone there that day. As I was showing Fela some pictures we took at the lounge, one guy from the back that looked like a frog just shouted, "Let me see, let me see, let me see, let me see." I showed him her picture. The next thing the madman will say, "I know this babe now. No be Jessie baby this." I was wondering, when did I get a new name and did he know it? I told him she was my babe. The guy kept arguing with me that she was dating Jessie, that he can swear with his life on it. Now, I didn't know Jessie or what he looks like, so I asked him who Jessie was. He said Jessie was his classmate and friend. He showed me Jessie's pictures. I was upset for 3 reasons. 1, Jessie guy had muscles and beards, which I didn't have. 2, the guy looks like a bad guy, which I clearly wasn't. And 3, the guy had dreads. Like, why do they always have to be with dreads? His own was not even dreads like that. It was looking more like Dada. I was disgusted. If it was by face, I am finer than this guy. If it was by sense, I knew I had more sense than the guy in that picture. Anyway, I didn't say anything to the frog. I kept quiet. I made up my mind I was going to ask my babe about Jessie. When I saw her that evening, I was not even in the mood, I won't lie. I first ate so that she would not carry the food back, I asked her about the Jessie guy. At first, she denied it. She said Jessie was just her friend and that she can never date someone like Jessie, that he's too proud and doesn't have sense. She told me not to listen to Fela and his friends again, that they are only trying to ruin our relationship. She told me the only way our relationship was going to be solid was if we had trust in each other. So I believed her until one day like that. I was waiting for her at our usual spot. She didn't come through. No calls, messages, or anything. I tried calling her number and it wasn't even going through. She wasn't online as well. I was worried. Out of nowhere, Fela called me and told me that my babe was at a lounge with a guy, the Jessie guy, that she just posted something on her Snapchat. I wasn't on Snapchat at the time, but I knew the lounge she was in, so I ended the call and went straight to the lounge. When I got to the lounge, she didn't see me at first. I saw her with the Jessie guy. If you had seen the way they were dancing, it was as if they were stuck to each other. When her eyes caught me, she was shocked. It was like she had seen a ghost. She came with Jessie and introduced me as her drama coach, and then introduced Jessie to me as her boyfriend. Guys, can you imagine? Me, your drama coach, after everything, after asking you out, a whole Romeo. The stupid boy too was stretching his hand to shake me like I was his guy. I was irritated. He asked if I wanted to smoke or drink something. If you see the look I gave him, I even thought it was a prank. I was having a banging headache. I called Fela and told him what happened. He told me to come over to his hostel to just spend the night. So I went to stay with my friend Fela that night. The stupid boy, the frog that told me about Jessie, was making the case worse. He was talking about how Jessie was a cult boy and how he could get any girl he wanted, that he had 5 other babes, and that he only liked Uyime for the sex. Fela was just complaining about how he wouldn't get food from her anymore. I just wanted to sleep. I felt if I had said something that night, I would have fought somebody. My plan was to sleep my pain away. When I woke up the next day, I saw about 15 missed calls from Uyime and a text message from her saying, "Let's meet at the chapel. We need to talk." I wasn't interested. To me, the relationship had ended, but then I now realized that the relationship didn't even start. Fela begged me to go that I can never tell what she had to say and the food she will come with this time. I was upset. I had my bath, wore the same clothes to the chapel. This time, things were different. She didn't come with food, a sexy dress, or makeup. She came covered. I was thinking she came to apologize about yesterday or even give me a proper explanation. Instead, she called me to warn me never to repeat what I did the night before.
You didn't tell me you were coming to the lounge, Romeo. You're choking me. Like, if you don't trust me, what is the point? Guy, you're stalking me and I need to breathe. Like, just back off.
I was mad. I asked her why she introduced me as her drama coach and not her boyfriend. She said she thought I knew that our relationship was a joke. That she liked me because I was a class rep and she needed to pass. The stupid girl now asked me if I really liked her. I couldn't talk. I just kept looking at her face. I shook my head and I left. I called Fela and Noel to tell them I had broken up with Uyime, that she was cheating on me with another guy. They were also not happy about it, although they were angry because Uyime wasn't going to cook for them again. Don't mind those ones anyway. The relationship was indeed a painful one. I sat down under the shower that day and I started thinking about us and what I did wrong. I started wishing we didn't kiss. She wasn't my partner. I didn't look in her eyes when I met her, and she never called me Romeo. I sometimes still think about her when I pass Unilag Chapel or the lounge. I heard she later got married and moved to Canada. Obviously, she didn't marry Jesse. She married somebody else. Here's another piece of advice. For every young guy who is single out there and is desperately searching for a partner, run away from Calabar girls, especially if she has a pet name for you like Romeo. So why am I still single? Well, it's because Uyime never really liked me and was more about her grades and sex. I was her opportunity to success, and she took it brilliantly. And that's the end of today's episode on Why Am I Still Single? I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, then don't forget to subscribe, share the podcast, give me 5 stars, drop a review, and let me know your thoughts. Also, if you have ever dated someone who used you to get a job or a goal done, then talk to me. I want to hear your story. Send me a message at edgar@checkedgar.com. Edgar, EDGAR, @checkedgar.com. Or go to my website at www.checkedgar.com and send it in the Let's Talk section. Alright, remember, the podcast ends the day I get married. So don't forget to tell that your beautiful friend that Edgar is single and he would love to go on a date with her. Alright, if that lady is you, send me a message at edgar@checkedgar.com. Let's talk. Next Friday, we dive into my experience with dating apps. You don't want to miss this one. Edgar doesn't lie. See you next week Friday. Check Edgar out.